It's time for the Sesame Street alphabet! A is for
Allahu Akbar!
Today, we're watching Yazir Qadi from Islam Questions and Answers as he offers a justification for Muhammad's marriage to 6-year-old Aisha. But before we watch the video, I have to say, this video contains humour mocking Islam and Islamic apologists. The aim is not to offend, but nor am I concerned about causing offence. I'm merely letting the viewer be advised that if you think Islam is not a laughing matter, you may wish to leave now.
Allahu Akbar.
So the question is a very common one, and that is that many people, non-Muslims and sometimes even Muslims, are perturbed that how come Aisha, our mother, was married at a very young age. And frankly, this is a question that people who study anthropology and intelligent researchers that are non-Muslim never bring up. Because what is happening here is that we are taking our cultural mores, our cultural norms, and then back projecting them onto the Arabian society. You see, the age of marriage is something that has no normative, no standard age. And cultures and ethnicities throughout the centuries had different ages of marriage.
Okay, so let's break down his argument. Yazir says, 1. Muhammad's marriage to a child is okay because academics don't question it, and 2. It was okay for Muhammad to marry a child because it was normal for old men to marry children. To be polite, these arguments are not convincing. On his first claim that marriage was good because academics accept it, Yazir is just plain wrong. Some academics do question the marriage of a man in his 50s to a 6-year-old. Robert Spencer and David Wood are two such examples. And second, just because some contemporary academics don't question Muhammad's marriage to a child, it does not follow that the marriage was morally good. In fact, even if all academics thought the marriage was okay, this argument is still wrong. Yazir's argument here is basically an appeal to authority, in this case academics, who have a remarkable capacity for being useless. We have to remember, academics are the people who brought us 51 imaginary genders and are leading the charge to make pedophilia a legal activity. Also, the logic is just absurd. If a thing is okay because some academics don't question it, then surely the reverse is true, and the thing is wrong if some academics do question it. But academics question the legitimacy of Islam, the pathology of Muhammad, and the claim that Islam is peaceful. If we consistently apply Yazir's logic here, this proves Islam is a fraud, Muhammad is a psychopath, and Islam is a murderous death cult hell-bent on annihilating everyone or assimilating us all into the Borg. Another reason his appeal to academics is false is we live in an age of cultural relativism. Many academics claim that morality is subjective, so why would they question the morality of Islam? Questioning morals of a different culture is meaningless if you don't believe morality exists. Yazir's argument here is so bad, I can use it to prove the existence of unicorns. Allow me to demonstrate. Unicorns exist, and we know this is true because academics don't dispute the claim that unicorn blood has magical healing powers.
Unicorn zombie apocalypse.
Welcome back. Now, it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. The reason people don't argue over the magical nature of unicorn blood is because there's no such thing. Many academics believe there is no such thing as moral standards, so they wouldn't question Islamic moral standards because, as far as these academics are concerned, Islamic moral standards are as real as unicorns. A third reason this defense is false is just because people don't say you're bad, it doesn't mean you're good. Most people probably didn't tell Stalin or Hitler that they were being naughty little boys while they were massacring Jews. Does that make them good?
Nine, 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 nine.
But now, let's look at Yazir's second claim, that it was okay to marry a child because old men married children back then. Believe it or not, this argument is much worse than the first. Just because lots of people do something, that doesn't make it good. Lots of people drink alcohol, enjoy the deliciousness of bacon, pretend to be unicorns, support socialism, and think the Kardashians are role models. Does that mean Muslims should accept that these things are good or true? Also, by saying it was okay for Muhammad to marry a child because that's what people did back then, he's basically saying it was Allah's will for Muhammad to molest a child because that's just the way people roll. In other words, Yazir's argument is that Allah was a cowardly moral sheep and he just went along with what pagans were doing, which includes in this case the practice of marrying and molesting little girls. And if that's true, then I guess we have to ask, did Arabs have liaisons with other things they shouldn't have had back then? Does Allah endorse these things too? Because if so, that would be bad. Sorry. Anyway, Saying that Allah's support of child marriage was limited to the time it was made necessarily cast doubt on the relevance of the rest of the Quran's moral claims. If marrying children is no longer morally good just because times have changed, what of killing apostate, killing adulterers, killing homosexuals, killing female rape victims, killing people who mock Muhammad, or beating your daughter to death for exercising her free will? Are they still relevant if child marriage isn't? The only logically consistent answer is no. And while this would be better for all of humanity, including Muslims, it's a claim that, sadly, many Muslims would reject. But are they right to reject these things? Most of the world now agrees that it's wrong to kill people who disagree with you, or who express sexuality in unique ways, or who mock your beliefs. If Allah's morality is that of a moral sheep, surely Allah's morals are no longer the morals of a 7th century tribal warlord from Arabia. They would now be those of an enlightened and progressive and tolerant people kind. And surely now Allah understands that all cultures and lifestyle choices are equally valid, and all 327 imaginary genders should be respected, and we should never hurt anyone's fifis, let alone put them in a sack and beat them to death. If Yazir's claim presented here is true, then Muslims should all be celebrating the next gay Mardi Gras. If Allah does not support gay pride marches today, then he does not support popular morality, and there's no reason to accept that his support of child marriage 1400 years ago was just because he was going along with the crowd. We must conclude that child marriage was Allah's will back then, because he believes child marriage is morally good. If you like this video, please hit like, subscribe, and hit the notification button so you don't miss my future videos.